whatever sponsors interest is the sense of identity that you know.
Right, sir.
Identity will guide your choice, guide your decision.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
We only have a society that is starved of a system that helps people discover who they are. The moment we cannot come to this reality, people will keep misbehaving. Nobody is stupid.
Yes.
Everybody is selfish. Everybody is. There's a common denominator with everybody, and that's selfishness. Romans 5 says, before you were formed, I know you. That's a father talking.
Yes, sir.
This, which is a replica of who the earthly father should be.
Yes, sir. Hey, welcome to the live podcast. I'm Happy, your host, and with me here are my co-hosts, Ruth.
Hello.
And Sam.
Maximum composure.
Your shakara is too much. Your shakara is too much. Too much tease. Your shakara is too much. So today, there's an interesting topic that we're going to be handling. And with us to dissect, cut, sew, dismantle, scatter, shatter. He's a special guest. He's a lead servant and minister. He's a dedicated visionary leader. He's the lead servant of Kingdom Access International. He provides spiritual leadership, guidance, and mentorship to young and growing congregations. He's a pastor at the Turning Point Faith Arena Ministry.
Wow.
He oversees ministry operations and outreach programs. He's a freelance copywriter. So Muknano say this pastor is not a laid-back pastor. He's an affiliate marketer. He's a teacher, not just of the word, but he teaches mathematics. So for those of you who get problem with mathematics, you know where to go to. He's none other than Pastor Tunde Martin.
Glad to have you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Welcome to Live Podcast.
I'm glad to have you, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So today, we're discussing the soul of man and its impacts on various aspects of life. So, would like to ask, what to you, what does the soul mean? What is the soul of man? How does this impact every area of our lives, our relationships, and all other aspects of life? But first off, we'd like to know who Pastor Tunde Martin is. How your journey, just briefly, how you became who you are, and what got you into, the area of relationship, generally.
Yeah, relationship coach.
Yeah, he's a relationship coach. So,
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm glad to be here at a live podcast.
wow.
Well, like you said, my name is Tunde Martins. I'm a combination of so many things in one person. People ask me all the time, how do you manage the spiritual aspect, social aspect, financial aspect, and all of that? I believe life ought to be balanced. That's my perspective about life. If I'm spiritual, it should not rule out my social engagement.
Right, sir.
Right. If I'm spiritual, it should not rule out financial intelligence.
Right.
So that's been my drive. So, like it has been said in the profile, I'm the lead pastor in, we call it servanthood because we believe that leadership is service. All right, so we call our leaders servants.
Servants.
So I'm the lead servant of Kingdom Access International and also an associate pastor. So as a leading, I'm under authority at Kingdom, at Turning Point Faith Arena Ministry. My journey so far, my journey from where I began from to where I am today cannot be correlated, cannot be traced. It does not marry. It's like a two different world. Because growing up, there was a picture I was already painting, following the footprint of my father. My father is such a man that although he's not a king, but if you must have any occasion in our territory, you must take permission from him. If you want to have a smooth ride, a smooth occasion, yes. If you don't take permission from him, sometimes he brings back handbags, shoes for my mom as the dividends of that meeting, because he will scatter it. Yes, he's an area scatter, smokes everything smokable. Drinks everything drinkable, and is the tug of. You can't be a politician in that environment without identifying with my father. So growing up in that kind of environment already gave me a design, gave me a template. But by His mercy, I came out. That influence, I started smoking at 6.
Wow.
Oh,
Had a favorite cigarette, St. Maurice.
At 6.
Yes, at 6. I smoked until I was 8. The same man took that habit away from me, my father. So I started loving the Lord.
So wait.
how did you stop? I'm curious to know how you stopped smoking, actually.
So wait.
Okay.
The person you learned from
Yes.
was one that stopped you.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Okay. I see him every evening. He would gather his friends. My father was a driver.
Okay.
He had drivers under him, and at the same time a politician. Before he died, he was the Councillor of Health or local government of the state.
Okay.
So every evening, by the time people are bringing back cars, they gather, they smoke, not just cigarette, they smoke weed, and then they leave leftovers. So time to time, I'll go pick it up, try it, and then my mom sells ogogoro.
Equation
So
balance.
I don't need money she sells the cigarette too. I don't need money for all of those
It
things.
was available.
But all of these, my dad is a disciplinarian. He doesn't take. Once he's around, everybody knows the lion of the tribe of
Has
he
arrived.
has come. So everybody, including my mom. So I was smoking. I knew he was not going to like the idea of me smoking, so I do it hiding. My mom caught me smoking and then poured the anger on my father when he returned. You see what you have got? You keep smoking and blah, 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 blah. Now your son has taken over. My dad didn't like it. So he asked me to pick pain. If you know that pick pain.
Yes.
Yes.
Ah, Jesus.
Very
So I was
painful.
alone in the sitting room and then
Body house.
he left me there until everybody slept. And while I was picking the pain, he was there smoking. So the room was clouded
It's small.
with smoke. The windows locked, doors locked. I was in between, in the midst of weed. When he finished, there was this tiny bed of his, this student size, what we call student
Yes.
size. So he used this cable wire to tie me to the bed and then flogged me with the same wire. I remember that day I passed a physics that was strong enough, so much so that it did not stain the bed because I had to pick it with my hands.
Oh my God.
So after that experience, the next day, I remember he was coming back. He bought bread and cooked egg. Bought it for me. and then called me to a corner. So you think I like smoking? You think I smoke because I enjoy smoking? He said, I smoke today because I can't stop smoking. I don't want you to start what you will want to stop and not be able to stop. That sank into me, into my soul.
At 8.
Yes, at 8. And he made me promise him if I'll continue eating bread and egg, he will not catch me smoke. And that was it. Today, I cannot stay in an environment where people smoke. The smells irritates me. So that's the journey.
You know, it's funny how we know something is wrong, and we keep doing it. Like he said, he didn't know how to stop. And then we find people in our environment or close to us doing this exact same thing.
Sure.
And we now tell them not to partake of such things. But they see it's in two ways. First of all, it could come across as being hypocritical, or as you being for the better, for a lack of a better word, being hypocritical is like being pretentious, actually.
Yeah.
So it's like you're saying I shouldn't do what you are. There was a way we used to put it in secondary school: do as I say, but don't do as I do.
Yes.
So, how do we handle situations like that? Whereby, your dad made you understand that he didn't want you to do this anymore because it's not good for you. For him, he had gone too deep and couldn't help himself. You know, you could have seen it as, Daddy, you've been doing it, you're alive, if there's nothing wrong with you, it means, but for a child of 8 to have understood the pain in the father's heart, to have understood that he meant what he said and he was helpless, what did that do to you as a child? I mean, towards your dad, not for you now. And how did you see your father? Because I could have seen him as, I could have had this compassion, or tried to, if you were older, maybe you'd have sought for help for him. But you were 8. There was just so very little you could have done. But what did that do to you, knowing that your father could not help himself?
Yeah. Well, what caused the turnaround for me was not about my father.
Okay.
My father was so wise to tie it to a reward. Then, bread and egg was not common. We see it once a while.
Okay. So it was a
So
deal.
he tied it to a reward. And then there was a follow-up, because after then, until he was being inaugurated as the Counselor of Health, I did not see him smoke. So he stopped smoking in my presence. We stopped having those gatherings in our compounds.
Okay.
So he made me believe he also, because he said he's going to keep trying to stop. So I felt he also had stopped until I saw him smoke in the field where the inauguration was taking place.
You know, it's funny, sir, that he was a counselor of health.
Yes.
No,
And
I was coming to that.
Yes.
how do you marry that? You're a counselor of health. You know this is bad, and then
For him, it's just political career.
The fact that I was even smoking in the inauguration. So,
yes,
You know,
yes.
that's my father is who he is. Till date, there's no replacement for him because it's late. He died of liver, whatever. So eventually, reward
Caught up
with him.
But thank God that
Yes.
he was able to ensure that you stopped at that
Yes,
age.
I stopped.
Because imagine,
Well, I will call it miracle
Oui.
because I didn't know how it happened. But after then, I became repellent to anything smooth.
I think the cane also did his job too. Because as a child,
The cane too.
after beating,
Kai, that cane.
you go.
Yeah, but you know there are
The cane
children that
actually
you
did.
beat of like last now just beating and
That
I
beating was
think
not.
that
It was a
says
calculated.
being tied
was
to
from
a
another
bed
realm.
and then
It was.
awesome. Wow. There are so many things that we do right now as adults that have their roots in our childhood. So in this space we try to encourage people to speak their truth because yeah, many of us we've created a certain kind of image for ourselves, and people think that we are not tainted, we are not stained in any way, everything has been rosy, not knowing that we also have been through certain things.
yeah,
And at the same time, there are things people go through that they cannot speak of, they can't mention because they are afraid of the way
Condemnation.
condemnation, the way people will begin now to see them, not knowing that, not accepting the fact that it's their past and they are now new persons. So these things cause people to hide. You see people have this facade of or this thing of we're perfect. They try to look good for acceptance, but they're dying on the inside. And I'm glad that you're a businessman. And for me, I believe that the state of our soul also influences how well we're able to perform in life, how far we're able to go, and even the things we're able to achieve. So, like, we can do 100 yards, we can maybe walk 100 yards, but there's a limitation within us that if it's taken care of, we'll find out that we have the potential to do maybe 200.
Yeah.
So coming to the area of, before we get into relationship, coming to the area of business, I'd like you to address this thing about performance, about success, true success, and then also what's the word? Performance, success, and also authenticity.
Yeah.
Can I come in?
Yes, please.
Okay, before you get into that question,
Okay.
I think that it's important if you can share a bit of your journey of how you got to be where you are now. Like seeing that you had that struggle. For some persons, sometimes they go back to something they are addicted to.
Yeah.
So how was it for you? Was it that you conquered it once and for all? And
No.
there was no other.
No.
So how was it like growing up
No.
after that incident?
It's more like a decision thing. I remember after I left, because I left that environment
Okay.
at 9, that contributed a lot. So it brought me into another environment where smoking was not the issue,
Okay.
but we drink occasionally.
Okay.
Like on Christmas Day, you just share whiskey for everybody.
Another level. Another level.
So those season takes me back.
Yes.
It has a way of sparking up that which I'm trying to kill.
Kill. True.
And then I see myself sometimes sneak into the restroom with folded paper, because as at then I couldn't afford buying,
Yes.
and I've left the place where I could get it for free.
For free.
So I wrap paper, because I saw my father wrap paper on my life, and he wraps it so big that every drawer you have to off the fire. Yes, and you hear the sound. Yes, he's
Oh.
so I
Fireworks.
Can you
improvise.
imagine?
But then, as much as I do it, I didn't get the flavors
That's
of St. Maurice.
Oh.
It's a great level then.
If no be Panadol, you know be
So
Panadol.
it couldn't compound the agitation, the urge.
Yes.
So naturally, it died. I would say that environment contributed.
Lord.
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
So, in other words, if you had gotten that St. Maurice, you would
Yeah,
have,
it would have been
continued.
Difficult to stop.
Yes, it would have been difficult.
So there was no moment where you went back home.
No, I didn't go
You want
back
to change the
home until
environment.
after 6 years. When I left, I didn't go back until after 6
That's
years.
like
So
15.
then a lot of maturity has
Yes.
come in, knowledge has come in, purpose is
So
getting
how was it
defined.
like for you to find purpose? How was it like? How was the journey into purpose?
Oh, well, that's a long story.
Because for
It's just like you asking me how I found God, because I found purpose when I found God.
God.
Now, I wasn't pursuing God. I didn't get the background. I didn't get a godly background,
Yes.
including my biological parents and my foster parents.
Okay.
You know, because I left biological parents
So moving
in Ondo
on,
State, came to Kano, to another
family.
Parents.
family that does not have that structure, that God. No. So my journey began with a self-willed. I'm very okay. I used to be very stubborn. Although some people still believe I'm stubborn, but I don't think I don't think I'm stubborn any longer. I think I'll use a strong-willed
Radical.
person. I'm radical. All right. So I was in a compound where I see Kegites.
Okay.
There's the Capone, or the chief, they call them chief of Kegites, was in that compound. And I see him change women. In the morning, a fat lady will come black. Afternoon, another one, another shape.
one day,
Another, yes.
wow.
Yes. I saw a scenario where he had to tell one, no, just drop the cola you are holding. Today is for your friend.
Wow.
And that one was not happy. She and guess what? Tomorrow she was back. He helped me compose the first love letter I wrote. That's very. But then I didn't fancy the everyday life.
Yeah.
So he said something. His name is also Tunde. I'm sure he's going to watch this podcast and he will remember this scenario. So he told me that, see, this is life.
Okay.
You are a man. This is how you demonstrate strength. I said,
Wow.
no. And, you know, I just lost my dad to similar events,
Yeah.
you know. So I told him, no, this is not life. I've seen the strong went down in the life of my own father as a result of this lifestyle. He said, no, it's not. So not because I knew God.
Yeah.
So I built a resilience towards influence from women. So much so that it took my mom to convince me to change that decision concerning my sisters.
Wow. Whoa. Wow.
They said, no, these ones are your sisters. Give them access. I said, but they are still ladies.
Oh my God.
She said, so it took me time. So what am I trying to, my journey? So I made up my mind that if at all I'm going to break my virginity, it's going to be the woman I marry. Not because I knew God,
Yeah.
but this guy, Tunde, you call him Filala.
Come on.
Lala.
Filala, we hope you are watching.
He's watching. He watch it. I'm going to make sure he sees it.
Oh God.
He vowed to me. He said, before you finish your secondary school, you must have disvirgined yourself. I said, let's watch it. And then, because of that, even
Took it
though
upon yourself.
I had opportunity,
Yeah.
I couldn't. I didn't. Just, I'm a stubborn person.
You wanted to
I can be
prove
stubborn to a
him.
fault. Yes, just to prove a point that I can't do it. And then, Well, after my secondary school, he told me, you got admission to NCE? Dear, you cannot escape it. I said, I will escape it. I remember a lady. I don't want to mention her name. I will mention her name. I'm sure she's going to see this also.
Oh my gosh.
She's married now. And she will also remember. Her name is Fatima Makonjo Eniola.
It's so mean.
Fatima liked me.
Oh.
She will always keep a seat for me. And
Yeah, it's so
You guys love. No, it's very
Maybe I
good.
should-
Oh,
No.
you made the both of each other. Oh, together. So I was like,
We love love.
yeah, actually,
We love
because you're
love.
ladies.
there was something Fatima said to me. She said I was important because of what she has seen.
Okay.
My attitude with women.
Yeah.
She's told me, Kai, Sunday, you are important.
That's what they think.
I said, don't worry. I have nothing to say to you
Yeah.
now. But God will so do it that all my children will so much look like me.
Yes. Yes.
I said this as far back 2009, 2010.
Wow.
I said, all my children will so much look like me. You will have no doubt to believe that I was not important. And I have 3 wonderful children.
That look like
Hallelujah.
you.
All of them, male, female.
They look like
I don't need DNA test.
at all. You know, sir, this what you just said now
Yes.
reminds me of the temptation when Satan was saying to Jesus, "If you are the Son of God, turn this stone
Yes,
to
sir.
bread."
Yes.
So it's like just positioned people to test you,
Yes.
so you can prove to them that they are
Exactly.
wrong.
But at the same time, preserving an oil,
Yes,
preserving a destiny, preserving a grace,
The
even in the days of ignorance.
yes. Wow.
Yes. So, what are we trying to trace?
Joining to find the
So
purpose.
Find
that
the
was
purpose.
where it began. So I now discover that it's possible to keep yourself. And I started, okay, something happened. We had to leave that house, and then to be all alone. There, I started going to church, got admission all by ourselves, went to school all by ourselves, and then just to keep that. Then God now came in to meet that strong will. And then okay, this is also God's idea. Why not? Let's go. And that was it. I don't want to tell you the story of how when we got married. It wasn't easy.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
So that's the journey. It's an interesting journey, and I'm glad I went that route.
So, are you saying you've got to find God yourself, or
God found him.
God found you, or it was a friend that or
No,
the circle?
my father in the Lord, Pastor Victor Majakoto Akure, introduced me to God. Taught me everything. I have not had 2 father in the Lord. He is my first father in the Lord. Under him, got born again under him, still with him. So there's no replacement for him. He taught me the nitty-gritty. At the time, I was living with him. I lived with him for months. I had my apartment, but I had to go and live with him just to learn some things. And that's the journey.
I'm glad you said this because there is that test for loyalty
Yes.
where you've gotten to a point where you are blooming, you're blossoming in ministry, in relationship with God, and you get to a point where you say you feel you've outgrown this space.
Yes.
And yes, it's true. You can have that feeling that you've outgrown a particular place, but it's also a thin line between dishonoring your shepherd and wanting to advance.
Yes.
because yes, that God expects us to grow. He calls us into ministry, but how we move matters
A lot.
as well. And a lot of people make that mistake where maybe there is a little bit of contention and they just choose to live like that. But it takes someone who knows God to be able to remain loyal and not dishonoring God or God's move in their lives, but remain loyal, honor the shepherd, and then wait for proper release.
Yes.
So how has it been for you? Because the expectation of people will be that you have a ministry, you have a call that people know you for, which has to do with relationship, building people, and people will expect that you should pull out.
Well, that's a popular thing. Actually, I've had series of proposals. Like, you're bigger than this place. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be this. That will be tempting for people who do not understand the purpose of why they are in a place.
Yes, sir.
I know why I'm in that place. And until that purpose is achieved, there's no release. Simple. No matter how well you grow,
Yes, sir.
until that assignment is accomplished, there's no going forward.
True, sir.
That's true.
True, sir.
So if you have that sense of responsibility,
Yes, sir.
it will keep you focused.
True, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so another thing is that you have this passion for mending relationships, for
Yes.
teaching people how to relate with people, maintaining their authenticity, and and all that. How did you come about that? Was there something that you had experienced that informed your decision to go in this line?
Yes.
Okay.
I was in the youth ministry. Okay, I think ministry for me began with the youth ministry. And I realized that a lot of challenges
Yes, sir.
is tied to relationship. Sometimes relationship challenge affect the relationship even with other people, relationship with God. So because of the nature of my ministry, I seem to be the go-to person. So people confide in me. And I've seen how my counsel
Yes, sir.
play out,
Yes, sir.
which most times, okay, that was then when I was starting, they don't seem to take it. The most difficult person to counsel is the one in love. The one in love. They are difficult to counsel. They will come to you as though they want an advice. But no, they already have what
What they want to do. True.
I'll paint a story. And I know
They are watching.
when they watch, they know they are the one I'm talking about. Both of them were, excuse me,
Yes, sir.
under my supervision.
Yes, sir.
So the lady came. Sir, I want relationship. This so person is disturbing me. He's asking me out. And I told her, I say, see, it's true that you want relationship, but you don't know what you want. What you want is actually different from what you need.
Yeah.
What you need now is not relationship. This is what you need. This is what you need. It's okay. Thank you. The brother came at different times. Sir, I'm looking at this particular lady for a relationship. I said, are you sure? Have you taken your time to understand her person? He said, yes, I'm sure. I said, take our advice, build friendship
Yes.
Yeah.
with this person so that what is not clear can be clear. He said, oh, beautiful. Thank you. The next meeting, the lady said, he asked me out,
Yeah.
and I told him yes. At that point, oh, beautiful.
Congratulations.
The Lord will go with you. That's the prayer. Then few months later, they will come back. If I had known, I would have listened to you. This is what I discovered. This is what you said. This is what I saw. The brother too. This is what you said. This is what I saw. So I began to gather these scenarios together, and I said, this is a gap.
Yes.
Most of these things are not taught on Sunday morning on the altar.
Right.
Most of these things are not taught on family altars.
Right. Yeah.
Fathers find it difficult to discuss relationship with their children. Mothers don't want to hear them talk about relationship. Meanwhile, time has changed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they need someone who understands their time,
True.
their season, to flow with. Whether you like it or not, their time
It's different from
is their
ours.
time.
Yeah.
Their season is their season. Your time is different.
Right.
This is how we did it in our time. You're only telling stories. This is their time. So I saw a need for a system that could meet this particular need. And it will amaze you the deliverance. Well, from I was sharing with you one time,
Yes, sir.
we have from relationship talk
Yes, sir.
cast out devil.
Demons.
Hallelujah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it's so that was how it came as a passion to help people.
Yes, sir.
And one popular thing, one self-motivating thing, it also helped me to watch my steps.
Yes. As a
So
leader.
it's like a
Symbiotic
relationship. So as I'm giving out, I'm getting.
Get in. Yes, sir.
Yes. My wife is conscious that this guy helps build relationship. So we cannot mess up our own relationship.
Yes. Yes,
Do you
sir.
understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is the benefit. I think I'm saying this for the first time, but it has always been in my inside. I'm saying this for the very first time. So there are gains in pursuing purpose.
Yes.
Let me
Yes.
stop there.
And previously we had talked about purpose, finding purpose. First of all, you have to find God,
Yes.
meet God for you
Yes.
to be able to
Yes.
find purpose. So I realized that, like you said, there is a gap.
Yes.
And the truth is, those whose marriages are working well are not as loud as those whom theirs
True.
are having, So those ones are always the ones in the forefront. They are the ones
Yes.
shouting and all that. And those whose marriages are working are quiet.
Yes. Because it is normal for it to work.
But does
And
that mean
they could be afraid that this thing that we are, so that the world will now not come and
Yes. You know, there's
So-
this
put
idea
messed up
of,
for us.
someone has talked about me posting my wife, posting my family, my children. You don't know the world is wicked. They will now think you're enjoying. They will think they want to. No. See, that's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the idea. And what is wrong is louder.
Yes, what is wrong is louder.
Yes.
We need to begin to change the narrative.
And that's why I'm glad for the
Live
live
podcast.
podcast, because we should begin to celebrate what
It's
is
working. Yes, sir.
We have a lot of negative vibes
Out there.
out there. So let's showcase to the world that marriage can work.
Yes, sir.
and be loud?
Yes, and be
And be
loud.
loud.
It's difficult for people to believe that you got married as a virgin,
Yes.
especially that you are a man. Every time
They'll be
I
like,
had to talk about it, they were like, "What? It's not possible." But I just keep quiet. So it's we should begin to blow the trumpet. Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, so I have a lot of questions to ask, but then you talked about how people always ask you questions about you managing being everything. I'm also someone who has tried to
Put
do.
your hands in anything.
Yeah, so for someone who is looking at achieving a lot, I mean, so how do you get to do all of those things, and I'm a very result oriented person,
Okay.
and I have one issue too of when I'm being focused on something and I'm trying to do something else. One of those two things must suffer. One of the two must suffer. And I'm someone who likes to be. I'm a very energetic person. When I have passion for something, I do it like I hit it. I don't care if there's money or, but I make sure that that thing comes out great. When I see it, I like to be proud. Like, you did this. So how do you get to do those things? And do you have moments where I wish I could pay more attention to this?
Yes.
Was there?
Yes. Actually, there are some areas of my passion right now that I'm just beginning to see how I can also give it attention because it's suffering, and I know I need I need that going forward. All right, but then my hands are full. Okay, if I tell you that from today's Friday, from Wednesday till today, I've slept for just an hour 30 minutes,
Wow. Between Wednesday and Friday. Wow.
and I was not surfing the internet. It's not
You're
extra
not
cool.
you're not kabashing.
Yes, I wasn't. It's not prayer. It's not all. It's not prayer. You understand? So, time management,
That's key.
discipline. In fact, let me use the word discipline because time management comes under discipline. So, if you itemize your deals, you have your purpose, you break it down to your goals. The goals has sectors. Time management will help you effectively use other people's time.
Okay, break that down
that's-
for us.
Actually, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
For example, we all have 24 hours
Yes.
in a day. But the answer to that question is no. We don't all have 24 hours. Yes.
I think I've seen that somewhere.
Yes. I think, in my opinion, someone like Warren Buffett has 365 days in 20 in while you are spending 24 hours, he's spending a year. So he's getting the result of 1 year.
I get that. Because we sell out our time
Yes.
for change and
Yeah. But we can't all begin at that point.
definitely.
No.
So you begin by managing your time. Give attention to things that build
Matters.
your destiny.
Right.
If you can focus on the things that build your destiny, you will get more things done. Take, for example, if you are an 8 to 6 worker,
Yeah.
all right,
Yes, sir.
and you'll notice that the cumulative time you spend at work, working, while you be spending 8 hours at work, you might just have worked for 2-3 hours. Other times you check Facebook. Other times you
Calling,
went to
chat.
chat with a colleague. Other times you went to
And you went to
for
eat.
lunch.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, sir.
you went for break. If you check, what are you doing with those times? Are you using those time for effective? I was working in an office, and in a month, I read like 3 books from my desktop. Meanwhile, that is the same establishment you cannot carry and hardcover notes to read. You will be penalized, you'll be sanctioned. But I have my desktop. So the time while others are busy watching TikTok,
You're reading.
I'm reading, adding value. So that's how to manage it. I have an online business. I have an on-site business. We have a bakery.
Yes, sir.
Myself and my wife own a bakery.
His wife's donuts. My God.
I'd have bring some for
Divine.
us.
Like
If carry some come.
the workload, there's no day we don't mix minimum. If you don't finish a bag, then it will remain small. That's one bag. Some days more. every day. And I am actively part of that business. Actively. Before I resume my 8 to 6 work, I resume there 5, 6.
In the morning.
Yes.
It's not every day you see a man actively involved in his wife's business.
That's another thing.
He has his job. It's not like he's jobless. He has his job. He has other things he's doing. But he makes that sacrifice. He's 100% involved from the inception to the to
From the days where I have to put in, collect salary, put it in. At the end of the month, there's no result. I have to put in another salary, sing it in. At the end of the month, where is it? No
without
result.
complaining.
For how long did that happen?
How?
For like a year.
Okay, so
What kept you going?
Exactly.
Vision. What kept me going? Because I saw someone did similar business
Yes, sir.
who opened up
Yeah.
and was getting massive results. So if we are getting it wrong, then there's something we have not gotten right.
Right.
So we keep trying. What's his name? That created the light bulb.
almost said this.
Thomas Edison. That tried 99 times.
900.
All right? 999 times.
1,000
And people
times.
told him, you failed now. And he said, no, I didn't fail.
fine.
I only learned how not to do it.
Okay, so what was that point where you knew that you've gotten it?
And when
How was it like?
When results started coming.
there's a secret to all business.
Yes.
Presently, people are leaving poultry business. But
Yes.
people are...
Yeah.
Business.
So why are people
Still
still in that business?
Investing
And
in-
some are saying the business is no longer profitable. It's because there's something he knows that
Yes.
That you don't
Yes.
know.
if you're waiting for me to tell you what I saw, I won't tell you there.
it is coded. It
Yes.
is the
We'll come for
secret of the
masterclass.
secret
Yeah,
of the
we'll come for
secret
masterclass,
ingredient
right?
of the secret.
So
Okay, so sir, just very quickly, still on the matter of the soul.
yes.
Now we know that the state of our souls inform the choices we've made. We've established that before.
Yeah.
So when it comes to relationship,
Yes.
you mentioned earlier how that your namesake would, his babe will come and then he'll ask her to
Babes.
drop. No, the babe first. One of the babes will come. Okay, one of the babes will come. Ask her to drop the cooler and go. That was her friend's turn.
Yeah.
And she will still return
The
the
next
next day. So it's something that has to do with the inside for her to accept it. It's something that is unacceptable.
I think, okay.
No, go ahead.
Talking about that, he might have, it's just, there must have been a soul tie.
Okay.
Yes. A soul tie. That's why she doesn't, yes, she sees that it's wrong, but
Yeah.
she can't stop herself. I don't know, I'm just
Well,
speaking
yeah,
from
it's
my
a
own
possibility.
perspective.
It's
Yeah,
a
possibility.
it's a possibility. On the other hand, probably something she had seen or someone around her might have experienced, or she might just have been in a situation whereby it seemed okay, or she's starved of affection
Yeah.
or love
Yes.
or validation.
We are in a society where everybody struggles with identity crisis.
Identity.
There's just this
Yes.
thing everywhere.
And
so-
we try, rather than, validate ourselves, love on ourselves, we look outward, seek it from other people. So, so I would like you to speak on that.
What she was looking for in a relationship is different. But I'll call that's a defined relationship. If you ask her, are you marrying this guy? She knows the answer. She will tell you she's not marrying the answer. So she has an interest that she's pursuing, which boils down to, because whatever sponsors interest is
Yeah.
the sense of identity that you know.
Right, sir.
Identity will guide your choice, guide your decision.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
So there's an alteration in the image of herself that she's aware of. Do you know that a madman is not known? He is not aware that he is mad.
Yes, sir.
So why does he keep acting mad? He should know that it's not okay to be mad. No, he didn't know that it's not okay to be mad.
Yes, sir.
The day he knows
Knows.
that it's not okay to be mad,
You won't be
that
mad.
day his deliverance has come.
Yes, sir.
So there's something wrong with the mindset of those category of people.
Yes, sir.
So why we will not be quick to condemn them?
Yes, sir.
Because this is what chased them away.
Yes, sir.
It's not their fault most of the times
Yes, sir.
to engage in such act. We only have a society that is starved of a system
Yes, sir.
that helps people discover who they are. The moment we cannot come to this reality, people will keep misbehaving.
Right, sir.
And then we keep trying to, don't do this, don't do that,
Yeah.
stop this. They don't know.
I can't answer the why questions.
They can't know. I don't know. Have you seen a relationship? I lived in a compound as a single brother where this lady will be beaten. She will get angry, move her things. After a week, she's back. It will happen again. She's gone. After she's back. And not even of the same fate.
Uh-oh.
So how can you explain that? Nobody is stupid.
Yes. Nobody.
Everybody is selfish.
Right.
Everybody there's a common denominator with everybody, and that's selfishness.
Okay.
Yourself, it's possible you have left yourself behind.
Yes, sir.
Until you come back to yourself, you cannot act sane.
True.
So that how to help those kind of people is bring them to a space where education is being provided, even though it's going to be a passive system of education. Don't bring out. Come, let me tell you the reason why you have been acting stupid. No, that's not it. And that's how to effect change in anybody.
Yes, sir.
If you understand this, you will not have crisis in family. Husband and wife will not quarrel. Yes. Because there's a reason why you do what you do every time. And your ability to understand human behavior.
Wow.
Human behavior is a cause. If you understand human behavior, you will not have crisis with anybody.
Right, sir.
Yes. Let's.
Wow, we said so much. So, can you lastly, just before we round up, the position of parents when it comes to giving their children identity?
Yes.
Because God is our Father, and we as parents are supposed to represent God, to show them, who God is in the way we relate with our children. But there's a lot of dysfunction in homes whereby children cannot relate. People cannot relate with God as Father because of where they are coming from. So, and your identity is hidden in your Father. So our identity is hid in God. So in order for us to find our identity, I believe that families have a lot of work to do. But it comes to us realizing that this thing is a problem. And then choosing to now be intentional with our children so they can also relate vertically with their maker as Father. So can you guide us through some steps that parents can take in achieving this?
Okay. First of all, I will say that parents need to understand their role as parents.
So,
Being parent is not just by bringing children. That's not what defines parenting. Parenting is a responsibility. And this responsibility begins even before children begin to come. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. If you look at that scripture, the destiny molding of the child is hanging on the parents.
Yes, sir.
But how many parents understand how child A should go? I have
Yes.
3 children. 3 of them have their unique destinies.
Yes, sir.
And 3 of them require unique trainings.
Key.
What I would say yes to child A,
Yes, sir.
it will be no for child B because of the training.
Yes, sir.
So there is a need for divine knowledge on the part of the parent, which signifies that every parent must, beside providing for these children their basic needs, must seek to be spiritually sound. Today, once parent is able to send the child to a very good school,
That's it.
They
They don't owe you
They feel-
anything else.
that's all. Oh no! In fact, it is your role to know which school he should go. The fact that your child A is attending this school does not mean child B will attend this
also.
school. His destiny might not. The way he should go might not be through that school.
Yes, sir.
But this is not known. It's not
Not taught.
emphasized.
Yes, sir.
So parents need to know their children in total. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 says, before you were formed, I know you. That's a father
Yes, sir.
talking.
Yes, sir.
This, which is a replica of
what
who
should
the
be.
earthly father should be.
Yes, sir.
See, the reason why we fail as parents in presenting God
Yes, sir.
to our children is because we have, through the knowledge that we have from our own
Parent.
parent,
Yes, sir.
presented God as a father in that similitude. Let me come again.
We appreciate that.
I know. I'm a teacher, so I know when I know when I need to come again.
Yes, sir.
All right. The best example. If I say, if you want to pray and say, Our Father, what comes to your mind is the image of the Father that the earth has presented to you, which gives an adumbrated explanation of who the true Father is.
True.
Our Father, who art in heaven, is not in the same as our Father who is on earth. So it is wrong to picture God as an example of our earthly father. The Bible says, if your father, who is earthly,
Yes, sir.
will not give you
stone.
stone instead of bread, how much more? So they are not in the same
Father.
class.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you get
Yes,
me.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So we have a job to help them understand. I listened to a preacher preach, and you were in that meeting, who allow his children
Yes, sir.
to see him
Him. Yes, sir.
the way he see God.
God.
That's
True.
that's an error in the body. I don't know how you saw that statement.
Sir.
If see, God is omniscient, is omnipresent, and you allow your children to see you as omniscience because he cited that example.
Yes, sir. It's an error.
It's an error. Why is it an error? I hope you will not scatter me.
Scatter the ground. Shatter
Let me
table.
scatter this table because,
Shatter table, sir.
and this is not in a way to
We need the knowledge.
You understand?
We need the
This is not
knowledge.
to prove anything.
Yes, we need the knowledge.
It's to bring balance.
Balance, yes, sir.
If you prove to your parent, to your children, that you are God to them, you can provide all their needs, you can meet all of their requirements, you can answer all of their prayers,
Questions.
because they pray to us. I'm sure you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When
Yes,
they make
yes,
requests and all
When they
that.
make requests, they pray to us. We meet their needs. You are a man. The best of a man is still a man.
Yes, sir.
And every man has limitation. That's how
Yes,
God
sir.
created it.
Yes.
God created us with that iniquity, with that infirmity.
Wow.
Everyone has that infirmity.
He's the only one who is infallible.
Call it weakness. Once you they begin to see that nature of man playing out in you as a father, it will help them relate with God in that area, in that manner.
Yes, sir.
So we are not God to them. Sometimes my daughter will come and say, Daddy, my stomach. Sometimes I'll pray for her. Sometimes I'll say, go to your room. Go and pray. Tell Jesus to heal that stomach.
Yeah.
What am I doing? I'm pointing her.
So, higher.
So it's not because I know how to pray.
Yeah.
You also can assess him.
Yes.
He's a
You
father
have it
to.
call right.
He's not a grandfather to you.
Nope.
It's a father.
So we as parents must understand our limitation and not allow our limitation rub on God in the presence of the children.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot. We encourage you, the viewers, to watch this over and over again, and remember that this is a no judgment zone. This is your safe space. We believe that you've learned a thing or two that you can apply to your lives, and we hope that you make the decision to live a better life, to live intentionally, not just for yourself, not just for your future, but for the sake of the destinies attached to you, your children, your siblings, and all that. So